research. In this case, you need to research about the company, find out about their campaigns, their past campaigns, their current campaigns. How did it go? What do you think they could have done better? You also need to be able to research about the industry, the company's industry, what's happening in the industry, what regulations are going on in the industry, how do you think it affects the company, right? You also need to be able to research about the competitors, how are they communicating, what do people think about the Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, I'm going to be sharing tips that will help you ace your public relations interview, or if you want to work in an organization in the corporate communications capacity, then you should watch this video because these tips will help you ace that interview. But before we get started, I currently work in the public relations agency in Lagos, Nigeria, which is an affiliate of Fleshman Hillard. So ranking globally, Fleshman Hillard is the 4th top public relations agency in the world, right? So let's get straight to the video. What is public relations? Public relations has to do with the management of communications between an organization and what its publics. And now in this case, publics does not just refer to the general public. It refers to customers, it refers to stakeholders, it refers to anybody that actually can be affected by any decision taken by the company. If you need to get a broad understanding of what public relations is about, I have the link in the description box. You can watch it because I've done a video on that before. But let's get straight to this video actually. So what's the first thing you need to do when you're preparing for that interview, for a public relations interview? The first thing you need to do is to research. In this case, you need to research about the company, you need to research about that organization, find out what the communication department is currently doing, find out how the organization is speaking to the target audience or speaking to the public, find out about their campaigns, their past campaigns, their current campaigns. How did it go? What do you think they could have done better? Research the company. Do you think they're speaking well? They're using do you think they're using the right tone to communicate to the public? You can even go as far as asking people what they think about the organization. You can, when you go for the interview, you can tell them, oh, I made this research and this amount of people think this way about this organization, and see if it ties to how the company hopes or is working towards being perceived, or if the research ties with the image that the company is trying to project. You also need to be able to research about the industry, the company's industry, what's happening in the industry, what regulations are going on in the industry, how do you think it affects the company, right? You also need to be able to research about the competitors, how are they communicating, what do people think about what the public think about their competitors. You know, all of these things you need to be able to research in them and present to the interviewer to say, oh, I did all of my findings and this is what it is. They will actually perceive you as someone who takes initiative, who's like very, very forward thinking. The second thing you also need to do or to understand is to know that impressions really matter, right? Public relations, don't forget, actually, is the goal of public relations is 3 things: image, perception, and reputation. Everything that an organization is trying to do is just to achieve these 3 things as regards public relations, right? So if you're coming to interview for such a role, you need to know that impressions really matter. What image are you projecting to these people? You need to be able to communicate effectively, because communication is very key, right? On this role, you're going to speak to clients, you're going to speak to board members, so they need to know that you are a good fit for this role. And it's on that interview day that you really project it to them to say, yes, I'm very ready. You know, you need to be able to give that impression that you are actually ready. Down to your outfit, you need to look the part, right? Look the part. The third thing you also need to do is to ask questions, right? And this is something that a lot of people do not know. So they say, do you have questions? And you say no. Don't even wait till that point when they say, do you have questions? You need to ask them questions like, oh, what are the challenges that the communication team is currently facing, or the communication department is currently facing, right? As regards some of your campaigns, how do you go about planning them? Do you know, try to find out what drives the insights towards, or what drives what's the insights towards the messages that they put out there. You need to be able to ask all these questions, right? And you need to let them know that you are actually concerned. You're concerned about the organization, and you're looking for ways to proffer solutions. So you can say, oh, when I come in, I'll be able to do this and I'll be able to do that. You need to be able to let them know. The fourth thing you also need to do is to show your relationship, right? On this role, the media relations is very key. So they want to be able to know that your interviewer wants to be able to know that you have a relationship some sort with the media, right? Because media relations is very key. You need to, if you want to put out your stories, if you want to put out your press releases, they need to know that you have a relationship with the media to actually publish these things, right? They also need to be able to know that you understand the media landscape, right? How do you pitch? They need to know that, oh, this person actually has a strategy towards pitching to the media, whether locally or globally. They need to be able to know these things, right? I think also you need to showcase your skills beyond communication. You need to showcase that you're vast, or you have vast knowledge, because in public relations, one of the good things is that you tend to work with different clients, and in this case you have an understanding of different industries, right? So you need to be able to tell them that, oh, you consume you need to let them know that you consume content, or you're up to date with what's happening in different industries or around the world, right? So they can ask you questions like, oh, what are the sites that you like to visit daily to consume news? You need to be able to tell them. Or they'll say, what are your best media outlets? You need to be able to tell them, but come so prepared. Another thing you also need to do is to show your creativity. This is the fifth point. You need to show your creativity. Show them that you're creative and that you have ideas that will help the company move from where it is currently to where it intends to be, right? And in this case, creativity also ties with understanding that that communication is not just lame. It is very, very strategic, because communication needs to tie to the bottom line. These days, organizations don't want to just employ someone who's going to just talk and talk and talk. They need somebody who knows that there has to be a result from this thing. What is the result? If we're putting out communication, if we're spending this amount of money to speak to the public, or to subtly, like in a subtle way, to sell this product or sell these services, they need to know that there is a return for this thing, right? There is a return for this thing. So all of these things you need to be able to show when you go for your interview. So I hope these tips, at least one or two tips, you're able to learn from these tips that I've given. And if you want more content like this, please hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.